hold on tight. 'Cause you know tomorrow may not bring that same thing that you said last night. Woo! Every time I find a little peace of mind, I hold on tight. 'Cause tomorrow may not bring the very same thing. No, no, no. Said none of the right there. You that care all. Just for me, I'm so glad that you that care all. Just for me, I'm so glad that you that care all. For a sinner like me. Hello, I'm Evangelist William S. Parson, and I'm here to tell you my story. Not the whole story, just a little bit of the story. I was asked to tell about when I got shot, jumped off the balcony, kicked in the head by a mute, fell off the high dive. I was asked to tell a lot of stories. And then one came up that I thought would be interesting, and that's really the pivot point when I finally decided to put it all down. Now, let me kind of tell you when I say put it all down. First, you have to understand I'm talking about a broken baby, a broken young boy, a broken man, and a broken future. Seemed like everything was broken. Family union broke. After foster home, boys' homes, juvenile hall, even landed my butt in prison, numerous jail visits. I want to tell you when the pivot point. I don't want to get too much in all what happened in the past. I just want you to know that some people would probably call me a hustler because I played a lot of things, not just one thing. I could play a few sports or a few games. I hustle. I did this for a while, a long time. Then in 1979, I had my first little visit with the Lord. I didn't know what it was. Years later, I was telling somebody what happened to me up in that room, and they told me what I went through. So it's been on this trail many years now, but I still wasn't at the pivot point. A lot of things had happened, a lot of things, a lot of hurt. I used to look at myself like I was crazy, but it was worse than that. I almost became evil. When I look back now, it was surviving. I could blame it on drugs and alcohol. But there were some things that were past craze. I had to go a long time in this repentance mode of apologizing. When I see people, just let them know I'm sorry. That was at the pivot point. That was coming out of the fall. So I was going around, and I guess you would say I was still dilly-dabbing. You know, I wasn't out there like that with the drugs and what I was doing and all of that. But every now and then, what I really was good at
people have me labeled in some things, but what I was really good at, I'd step out, and I'll get busy, you know. If I can walk away with about 10 grand, you can get my attention. By this time, I had a couple of my children, and this is the second batch. I have children, different women. And I just want to put these points in there so as we get into the pivot point, you'll kind of understand the man to you. And it's hard, but I'm going to keep it real with you. There came a time I had to overcome a lot of things. When I got on this journey, I hadn't arrived. I would go to church, pretty much quit getting high like that. And never could drink much. Pushed back on the lady, but I was still with dilly dally. One foot over here, and then if something comes up, I put my foot over there. One day, this little girl came up to my baby girl, and she started telling me what she saw in her dad. Something got inside of me because despite of how I acted, what I did, how evil I was, there was something in me that loved my baby, my baby. But what I had to catch up with is because of their broken father, broken home, their broken man, I wasn't there like I should have been. I wasn't there like I should have. Period. My mind was on a whole bunch of other things. Some good things happened. Remember catching up with my oldest daughter, who grown with children. And I knew she was there. Just didn't know how to catch up with her. Had an opportunity one time. She was about 9. Her dad really don't even know what was going on that night, but I know I was moving too fast to give your baby some time. There's a lot of things I'm ashamed of. A lot of I'm sorry's I need to do. But I still didn't pivot. My daughter pulled me to the side and she says, "Dad, do you want to be alone for the rest of your life?" I'm saying, "What did you mean alone?" She started telling me things. She started naming the women. Because you have to understand, women to me wasn't us. I just want you to understand that at that time, I didn't see nothing wrong with it, no problem. But she did. Now the older ones, like I said, they seen a lot. They seen a lot. The other ones, man, I thought I had the hypocrite rolled down. 'Cause that's all their dad was a hypocrite. Even if I slowed down, even if I was still going to church, I have not really stopped. Dad. Oh, I was scary. I don't want to go back to no prison. I don't know about these brothers talking about I can stand on my head and do the time. Mm-mm. That's not a place. It's not a place for a brother like me. You feel me? Not for me. I didn't want to go back. But I would dab, and I was good enough to where I could seat myself far enough out the way till if something did collapse, I'm out. Until that little girl comes sitting there talking to her dad about what she see. We're not even getting into my little man over there. He sees too, is the way I was looking at it, but I still didn't stop. Fast forwarding through gunshots, prison, children. I mean, we're taking years of getting me to this point. It didn't happen like that. And then putting no oil on me, I didn't fall out. Ooh, none of that. I had to walk this walk. You understand? I had to learn what it is to be upright. Because no matter how I did it, I was a hypocrite. I would do my best. Don't smoke around my kids. Don't drink. Y'all come in, da da da. But their dad, he puts them to bed, and women didn't spend the night at my house. None of that. But when they go to sleep, alcohol, living a life, think that I'm fooling somebody. But the truth of the matter is, it's killing people. Maybe not like in the sense of right now. But after I went through this experience, gathered myself, I told her when I get back, I'm gonna quit everything. I'm not gonna do that no more. I'm gonna let everybody go. She looked at me. Well, first I thought she might say, "Oh, really? Really? Me and you?" I didn't have. She's kind of a fast little lady. She said, "You do that, you're gonna lose everything." I said, "I know." Maybe a week or so after coming back, like cloud nine. Then, after telling the Lord I quit and everything, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. So, what happened after that got deep. Found out some personal stuff. Hurt me a little bit. I was sitting there pawning my jewelry. I was doing what I could to try to hold on, but when it boiled down, it's a hustle. I don't care whatever facade I had, the studio, doing DVDs, whatever, recording. I was a hustler. I was a walking hypocrite. To me. Because I do want to be a man of my word. And if I'm out there in them streets, you know I'm a man of my word. And for this time, just like I told the Lord, I'm going to go to church, but I'm coming the way I am. It's a whole nother story. I did that. And it took years to slow that spirit, that demon that had captured this brother, this broken man. I remember getting up saying, "I'm sorry to people." Stop. Biggest thrill out of all the things I've done. And if anybody out there heard in Ohio, I know you're in Ohio, Atlanta, California, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I turn around and everything's going good. Then, like I said, I was a broker, so I put somebody, I'm flipping my house. using my house to get some money, blah, blah, blah. You know how that used to go back then. And ran into a snag. Well, that's a whole nother story. We'll just call it a snag. Now I'm getting ready to lose my house, to lost my jewelry. I did not expect that. Now I have to get kids situated back with their mom. It's just going down. I'm like, Lord, okay, Lord, what we doing? I didn't understand. One thing, I'm not going now. Whatever it is, stand before my babies and any other person. This is what you call kid. You hear about skeletons in the closet. Just leave my closet alone. There's a pedal on the heart, a little breath in them, and they got meat on it. There's a pulse. You understand? So we don't mess with the closet. Each and every day I praise God for putting his angels around. I didn't have to make it to this day. I didn't have to be here today. So anyway, after losing jewelry, all this stuff, came a time when they took, and I mean, I was like a fish out of water. Lord, Lord, snags, things where you're not going to be able to recover, Bill. It's going down. I remember sitting outside when the sheriff came and threw my stuff out the lot. I was trying, I have one of my little girl with and her daddy in this situation. And it rained. Little lady around the street, love her to death. Probably said his brother don't even know what's going on. I was like in shock. I was in the street. She went and got me a U-Haul truck. Put my stuff in the truck, got it stored. I was homeless. My babies were, again, back, whatever I was trying to take them out of. It was hell. It was hell. Stuck in my office. I was there a lot. Got 6 months behind Mr. Parker. He just looked at me and said, I know you're going to come through. 6 months. Be careful. I found someone to kind of stay with and have my little girl, but I couldn't do it. It was not enough. All of it. Catching buses to my job. Maybe sometimes I had to even brush my teeth there and all this kind of stuff. It was rough. One day we sitting there and this little lady comes in the office, the same one I was riding to Kansas with. I told her to go. Everybody know what's gonna happen. Me. Gay. Stole the house. On drugs. Being homeless and things. I'm just gonna throw this in. It's a whole nother story. But when you have children, young men, just go down and deal with the state. Don't try to deal with two women. Don't try to make any deals. Just deal with the state. And I was going through a battle with one of my children. And I couldn't I couldn't deal with it in the way these laws are in Colorado for men and children. They literally, it was rough. It was being snatched up. The crazy part about it, they owe you. It was rough. Now, social services, homeless, children out. Still, Lord, no cup. Still, Lord, where's the father? The little lady come in, told her to bounce. I said, be glad I didn't take all your money. Told her, be glad I didn't take all your money. Just go. And I know she was there probably trying to say, come on, brother, I got a house. Come on. I was done. Whatever, man. Lose the jewelry, the car. I lost 2 storages. This other lady, I was using her garage, threw all my stuff in the alley. Daughter that I just met had to pick my stuff up and put it in a storage. Lost that because all I did, no matter the little side money I made, the bulk of my money was because I hustled, period. But I'm not going back there. I'm not going to live like in front of my children. I'm not going to live that way for me no more. Let's just up the game. We'll just put the kids aside. I was done. All hell, bro. After I told that little lady to bounce, she comes back a year and a half, 2 years. She called, I called, whoever called, we got in touch. Okay. Except this time she's on a whole other trip. She's telling me, I'm going to go to college and I'm gonna go over here to Colorado Christian Fellowship, and I'm gonna take their evangelist course. You ought to come with me. I'm homeless, sitting there. I wasn't doing nothing. I said, okay. So I went over there, and then at the end of the class, you had to do your little term paper. I wrote about everybody in the class because out there, the Lord gave me a spirit of discernment. I mean, He gave it to me. He gave me a few gifts. I was just using it wrong, in the wrong places, wrong time. But the gifts He gave me were mine nevertheless. And I wrote this paper on each and every one in that class, who they were, what they was doing. And I called it Mission Impossible. I even picked out the mole in the class. Oh, there was a mole in the class. Picked him out too. I came out of that class, I went to my church, and then I got to my church and turned around and they started an evangelist class. I mean, wow, look at here. So when they did that, I turned around and I took that too. Except instead of a certificate, I got a license this time. Yep, me and others. That was in 2009. I wouldn't be ordained to 2022. Figure that. And I started getting into church and media, the websites, the music department, and trying to do the youth and the men, and just something was like, let me help, let me spread the word. Look, let me tell you where I come from. Let me tell you where I've been. Let me tell you how to stay off that road. And if you're on that road, let me assure you, you can get off. It's up to you. So anyway, the little lady, she go on get to college. She got a master's in this stuff now. She's deep. She's deep with it. I just went that far. I don't have no titles behind me. Ain't nobody honorary me nothing on the religious front. I want a couple of players competitions and stuff like that. I don't want some James Brown best costumes and all that, best dress and all that kind of stuff. But not on the church front. And when I got up in here into the church stuff, you know you're talking to a man. I told you a little bit what I've been through. I done sold women, hot goods, drugs, everything to ministers. So just because they have titles and stuff to me don't mean nothing. You walk like a duck, quack like a duck, you a duck. As this religious journey, I think about those nuggets that God put along the way. There's one story I do want to interject and tell you about. It's about this one pastor. I believe his name is Robert. I call him Bob. Okay. And the Bob I'm talking about, Bob and Paul. Y'all know Paul Burles. Anyway, Bob, Paul, and myself was sitting at a table at this function from Soul Care one time. But I never thanked Bob for something. Now, Paul was cool. All of these brothers been cool with me. I mean, a lot of people cool with me, you know what I'm saying? They know how to act, they know how to talk. But these brothers, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you, these are a couple of pastors that I know is damn. Charles. Mama like Charles. My mama like Charles. He adopted him. Bishop Charles. Couldn't say nothing to Charles. Charles like my brother now. And my mama treat Charles. But that's another story. But let me get to Bob. I was coming out of prison. I was still finding my way, still dilly-dabbing. But like I said, I had really, really slowed down. I was picking my shot. God was grooming me. But what I wanted to say was, Bob, that's the Bob. One day I got a call to come. I don't know how the hookup came, but they wanted me to speak in front of these men who were transitioning out of prison into the society. And I guess Bob been doing it. Bob been doing this, and Bob been giving these kind of classes to talk to people on food banks. You all know Antioch. Come on now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So I went down there and, I green, I don't know nothing, right? I just, well, this is how it went for me. And this is what you're going to have to do. Now that I knew. I knew what you're going to have to do because I'm going through it. You don't want to go back there. So when I started talking to these men, I talked to them like men, not like no sissies. I talked to them like men. And then all of a sudden, I heard somebody in the back when I was done just crying. I mean, oh, fuck. And then I get up closer, and he's talking about how he said, I prayed for you. I mean, I prayed for you. And he said, I prayed that someone would come tell the truth. I didn't understand it then. That's another thing God gave me. My mama used to tell me, don't get me wrong, I've lied. For the most part, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm human too. So a way I might get in to this thing called church, religion. I do not like religion. So we go down this road. There's so many more stories I could tell you. I mean, on top, like, I had to go get this little girl out of Atlanta. Me and my daughter moved. I I can tell you a lot of things. A lot of people that die. A lot of people that, you know, thank Bob. Also, thank my ancestors. Mom, both my grandfathers are ministers. My mother was a minister. That's our first letter, elders, all this kind of stuff. My Parson family up in New York, down in Vegas, we're scattered all over. And I'm not the only one out of the family tree that decided to be a knucklehead. I know that. But I'm one that want to come out and let you know. You don't have to stay in. What I would ask for you, what I would ask from you, is that if you have a story, give me a call. Come on through. Let's see what we can do. House of Transformation is really for people like me, folks like you, ordinary people. Might just need a little help. You may not be as engulfed as I am. You don't have to be. When we tell these stories on Where Were You, a lot of times when I do the interview, I break down. I have to take a pause. When you hear the anointing that comes over these people, and their pivot points in their life. Going to Kansas, at a pivot point, I stopped. And when I stopped, I know now I was under such a great attack I went through physical changes. You see, this is what happened. I lost hair. I lost weight. I lost that clout. I lost furniture, clothes, jewelry. I lost. Used to be my crap. Lost. But baby, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I gained my life. And today I can stand before my babies and say, this is how we do it. This is how my ancestors did it. Forgive me. Just because I turn around don't mean everybody go. So pray.
Well, another episode of Where Were You? And we would like to thank our guests for this evening. Also want to thank New Me. New Me helps sponsor Where Were You? So go on and check it out. New Me /Arkway. Also, go on and hit that like. Go on and hit subscribe. Go on and hit that share. Go on and leave a comment. And if you find anyone that has a story, let me know. And hey, you bless someone today.